Stop scrolling, stop waiting, yes, right now. Because the single biggest thing holding you back from getting everything you want before Christmas is this one invisible habit you didn't even realize you have. And here's the kicker, you can flip a switch in your life today and erase every delay that's been slowing you down. Imagine getting more done in 1 week than most people do in a month. Sounds impossible? It isn't. Think about it. How often have you promised yourself tomorrow, only for tomorrow to become never? Nutmeg, tiny, powerful. That's the metaphorical spark I'm giving you. Just like sprinkling it in a dish makes it extraordinary, sprinkling a few tiny, precise actions into your life now can catapult your productivity. And the magic? It's not in time management, it's in triggering unstoppable momentum. Here's the truth. Delays aren't about laziness. They're about hesitation, doubt, and waiting for perfect conditions that never come. But there's a simple mindset shift that dissolves that freeze instantly, and I'll show you exactly how. The concept of immediate action is deceptively simple, yet it is the single most powerful lever for transforming your life when it comes to ending delays. Most people think progress comes from planning or waiting for the perfect moment, but the truth is the perfect moment rarely arrives. Action is the only thing that turns ideas into reality, and the longer you wait, the more your energy, motivation, and clarity dissipate. Immediate action is not about reckless impulsivity. It is about creating a deliberate, intentional burst of movement the moment a decision is made. When you commit to acting now, even in a small way, your brain recognizes the shift from passive contemplation to active momentum. That recognition triggers a cascade of productivity, focus, and confidence that propels you forward faster than any plan or list ever could. It is the psychological equivalent of lighting a match in a dark room. The smallest spark ignites visibility, movement, and possibility. Immediate action also rewires the habitual loop of procrastination. Every time you delay, your mind strengthens the belief that waiting is normal, that hesitation is acceptable, and that progress can be postponed. By acting immediately, you interrupt that loop, sending a signal that forward motion is non-negotiable. This creates a powerful internal narrative where you begin to see yourself as someone who doesn't wait. Someone who seizes opportunities and responds to impulses with precision and speed. Furthermore, immediate action has a compounding effect. One small, decisive step often reveals the next step, and the next, creating a chain reaction that accelerates everything you do. It is almost impossible to remain stuck when momentum is building around you. Taking action now also diminishes fear and anxiety. Waiting gives your mind time to imagine every possible obstacle, every what-if scenario, and every potential failure. Acting immediately bypasses that mental paralysis because movement itself generates clarity, information, and feedback, which allows for adjustments in real time. Finally, the beauty of immediate action is its accessibility. It doesn't require a special skill, a perfect plan, or ideal circumstances. It only requires the willingness to start, the courage to move before conditions feel ready, and the understanding that momentum created today compounds exponentially toward your goals. By prioritizing immediate action, you create a lifestyle in which delays become exceptions rather than the rule, and each step taken now becomes the foundation for accelerated progress and measurable transformation. Time compression is the art of achieving more in less time, and it's a skill that separates those who feel perpetually behind from those who seem to move effortlessly through their days. Most people operate under the assumption that tasks take as long as they take, that a full hour is required for a simple project, or that progress can only happen at a linear pace. Yet this is far from the truth. Time compression is about breaking that illusion by learning to identify the critical few actions that produce the maximum result, eliminating the trivial many that consume energy without moving the needle, and then executing with focused intensity. It's a mindset shift as much as it is a tactical approach, because it trains you to view time not as a static resource, but as a malleable one, something that responds to strategy, urgency, and clarity. When you compress time, you naturally raise your energy and engagement because your brain recognizes the scarcity of opportunity and rewards action with heightened focus, creativity, and decision-making speed. It is not about rushing or cutting corners carelessly, but about recognizing the invisible space between distraction and output and consciously filling it with deliberate, high-impact steps. Techniques such as batching similar tasks together, setting micro-deadlines, and creating mini sprints of concentrated work allow your mind to enter a state of flow more quickly, producing results that often feel disproportionate to the effort invested. Time compression also leverages the power of accountability and visible progress. When you see what you can accomplish in condensed bursts, the psychological momentum builds, reinforcing a sense of capability and control over your schedule. Another crucial aspect is decision simplification. The more you reduce unnecessary choices, overthinking, or repetitive hesitation, the faster your actions become, and the more compressed your productive output is within any given time frame. Additionally, time compression thrives on precision and prioritization. Every moment saved, every unnecessary step eliminated, compounds over days and weeks, allowing you to reach milestones that would otherwise feel distant or overwhelming. By mastering time compression, you not only finish tasks faster but also reclaim energy, reduce stress, and create space for creativity, reflection, and growth, turning your daily schedule into a high-performance engine where results multiply in ways that feel almost magical because you've learned to bend the perception of time itself and make it serve your ambitions with astonishing efficiency. Nutmeg is a small, almost unassuming spice, yet it carries an extraordinary potency that transforms the flavor of an entire dish. And in the same way, small, deliberate actions in life can create massive impact. The metaphor of nutmeg represents those tiny yet powerful interventions that act as catalysts for rapid change, the subtle shifts that trigger momentum when everything else feels stagnant. Most people underestimate the value of small inputs, believing that only grand gestures or monumental efforts can make a difference. Yet history and personal experience reveal the opposite. It is often the smallest adjustments that produce the most profound outcomes. Just as a pinch of nutmeg can elevate a recipe from ordinary to extraordinary, a focused, well-timed action sprinkled into your daily routine can instantly accelerate progress and bypass delays that would otherwise linger for weeks. Nutmeg as a metaphor also teaches precision and intention. It cannot simply be thrown haphazardly into a dish without thought, because too little may go unnoticed, and too much can overwhelm the entire experience, and the same is true for personal actions. The key lies in identifying the exact moves that create disproportionate results, understanding timing, and implementing them consistently with awareness. It symbolizes how exponential effects often stem from small, deliberate, high-leverage actions rather than constant busyness, emphasizing quality over quantity. Moreover, nutmeg carries the idea of transformation. Something ordinary becomes remarkable with just a small spark, and in life, this translates to turning procrastination into productivity, hesitation into decisiveness, and stagnation into momentum. The metaphor also resonates psychologically, reminding us that greatness does not always require overwhelming effort or monumental resources. Sometimes the most powerful shifts are subtle, almost imperceptible at first, yet they ripple outward to produce outcomes far larger than the initial input. Nutmeg represents the principle of concentrated influence, where the smallest, most intentional action can unlock doors, create breakthroughs, and end patterns of delay, acting as a symbolic reminder that change does not always demand waiting for the right moment or the perfect plan, but rather a deliberate catalytic step that sets everything in motion with clarity, purpose, and energy that multiplies with each following action. The mindset shift is the invisible lever that separates people who remain stuck from those who move forward effortlessly, and it begins with recognizing that delays are rarely about a lack of time or resources, but about the mental patterns that dictate behavior. Most people procrastinate because they are waiting for conditions to feel perfect, for confidence to appear, or for fear to disappear, yet these conditions rarely exist, and waiting for them only reinforces inertia. A mindset shift rewires this thinking, transforming hesitation into immediate response and uncertainty into curiosity and experimentation. It involves cultivating a belief system where action is the default, where small steps are valued, and where progress is measured by momentum rather than perfection. By consciously shifting your perspective, what once felt like insurmountable obstacles becomes manageable challenges, and the energy previously drained by doubt and overthinking is redirected into productive effort. This shift also changes your relationship with discomfort. Instead of avoiding tasks that feel intimidating or unfamiliar, you learn to associate them with growth and momentum, seeing hesitation not as a warning sign, but as a signal that something meaningful is happening. The mental reframing helps eliminate the internal friction that fuels procrastination, allowing you to move forward decisively. Over time, this shift becomes self-reinforcing because each act of immediate, deliberate action strengthens the belief that you are capable, focused, and resourceful. By training your mind to embrace action, to see delays as choices rather than inevitabilities, and to recognize that waiting rarely produces results, you create a psychological environment where productivity and progress are natural states, where hesitation loses its power, and where momentum becomes not just an outcome, but a habitual part of your daily life. If you're ready to burn the delays and grab life by the reins, comment now below, because I'm about to reveal the nutmeg method, a strategy so small yet so potent it transforms weeks of procrastination into days of unstoppable action. Breaking routine barriers is about challenging the invisible patterns and habits that keep people trapped in cycles of delay and underachievement. Most of us operate on autopilot, following daily routines that feel comfortable but often hinder progress, creating the illusion of productivity while subtly reinforcing procrastination. The first step in breaking these barriers is awareness, recognizing which routines are supporting your goals and which are silently sabotaging them. Once identified, the next step is deliberate disruption. Intentionally altering the sequence of tasks, introducing new habits, or injecting urgency into previously stagnant areas. Small, targeted disruptions can have a surprisingly large effect, creating mental tension that forces adaptation and sparks momentum. The process also involves re-evaluating priorities and confronting resistance head-on, because routines are not neutral. They carry the weight of comfort, fear, and habit, which must be consciously overridden. By changing the timing, method, or environment of your actions, you retrain your brain to respond to opportunity rather than habit, replacing inertia with initiative. Breaking routine barriers is not about chaos. It is about creating flexibility and responsiveness, enabling you to act decisively in moments that previously would have been wasted. It also taps into the psychological principle that novelty stimulates focus and energy, making tasks that once felt burdensome feel more engaging and achievable. Over time, disrupting stagnant patterns encourages a mindset of proactivity, where the default response is movement rather than hesitation. Each intentional shift, no matter how small, compounds, gradually replacing old routines with high-leverage behaviors that accelerate progress, dismantle procrastination, and open pathways for achieving goals with greater speed, energy, and clarity. Energy and momentum are the twin forces that determine whether progress feels effortless or endlessly stalled, and they begin with how you channel your focus and physical vitality into action. Most people underestimate the role of personal energy, assuming that motivation alone is enough to overcome delays. But energy is what sustains motion when excitement fades, and momentum is the natural byproduct of consistent, deliberate action. Momentum is created not by working harder for longer periods, but by initiating small bursts of focused effort that compound over time. Once momentum builds, it propels you forward with less conscious effort, creating a psychological and physical rhythm where movement begets movement. Energy feeds momentum because the more vitality you bring to each action, the faster you complete tasks, the clearer your thinking becomes, and the more confident you feel in taking the next step. Conversely, low energy leads to hesitation, distraction, and procrastination. So managing energy through routines, focus techniques, and intentional bursts of work is essential. This is why short, concentrated sprints of effort, paired with mini rewards or pauses, often produce more results than long, unfocused sessions, because momentum compounds exponentially when each step is purposeful. The sensation of moving forward generates its own excitement, reinforcing focus and accelerating outcomes. Momentum also has a motivational effect on the subconscious mind, signaling that progress is happening, which reduces resistance and fear, while making the brain more receptive to further action. By consciously cultivating energy and harnessing momentum, tasks that once seemed daunting become manageable, obstacles shrink in perceived size, and the natural flow of progress takes over, turning delayed goals into achievable milestones, creating a cycle where movement fuels energy, energy fuels momentum, and momentum fuels consistent, accelerated achievement. Psychological rewards are the hidden engine that keeps people motivated, focused, and consistent, and they operate on the principle that the brain responds more to immediate feedback than distant outcomes. Most people delay action because the benefits of completing a task feel too far away, abstract, or uncertain, making procrastination more appealing in the short term. By creating small, tangible wins along the way, you trigger a release of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, which reinforces the behavior and makes continued action feel naturally satisfying. These rewards do not need to be extravagant. Even the simple act of crossing a task off a list, acknowledging progress, or celebrating completion in a brief moment can create a powerful feedback loop that accelerates momentum. Psychological rewards also serve as a compass for prioritization, signaling which actions produce the most impact and should be repeated, while simultaneously reducing the mental friction that accompanies hesitation. When you align action with immediate psychological gratification, delays lose their grip because the brain begins to crave the feeling of movement and progress rather than avoiding discomfort. Over time, this feedback loop strengthens confidence, reinforces self-efficacy, and reshapes your identity into someone who acts decisively and consistently where progress is expected rather than exceptional. The key is to structure tasks and milestones so that each step provides noticeable progress, making the journey toward larger goals psychologically compelling and inherently motivating. By leveraging psychological rewards strategically, you create a system in which productivity becomes self-reinforcing, where the pleasure of completing one step naturally propels you to the next, reducing procrastination, maintaining focus, and transforming consistent action into a sustainable, almost effortless habit that multiplies results while minimizing stress or resistance. Deadline leverage is one of the most powerful tools for accelerating action and overcoming delays, and it works because human psychology responds intensely to time-bound pressure. Most people operate under the illusion that they have unlimited time to accomplish tasks, which encourages procrastination, hesitation, and the constant deferral of important decisions. Deadlines, especially those that are meaningful or personally significant, create an urgency that naturally sharpens focus, intensifies energy, and compels action, forcing the mind to prioritize what truly matters. The key to effective deadline leverage is understanding that it is not merely about setting a date on a calendar, but about attaching real consequence, visibility, and commitment to that date, transforming it from a neutral mark into a motivational force. When a deadline is imminent, the brain enters a heightened state of alertness, reducing distractions and streamlining decision-making processes because it recognizes that waiting or wavering carries a cost. Leveraging deadlines also helps in breaking tasks into smaller, manageable segments, creating micro-deadlines within the larger framework, each acting as a checkpoint to maintain momentum, generate psychological rewards, and provide continuous feedback on progress. Deadlines harness the principle of scarcity, reminding you that time is finite and compelling you to act decisively, which often reveals latent efficiency, creativity, and problem-solving skills that remain dormant when the timeline feels infinite. The psychological pressure of a deadline can also be motivational, especially when linked to a meaningful outcome, like a personal goal, a celebration, or a transformative milestone such as Christmas, because it converts abstract intentions into tangible, time-sensitive action. Over time, consistently practicing deadline leverage trains the mind to respond proactively rather than reactively, instilling habits of planning, prioritization, and focused execution. It transforms hesitation into momentum, inertia into progress, and intention into measurable achievement, showing that the structure of time itself, when respected and strategically used, can become one of the most reliable accelerators of productivity. Deadlines do more than mark the passage of time. They act as catalysts for discipline, clarity and urgency, turning potential delays into structured opportunities to maximize results, achieve goals faster, and cultivate a pattern of consistent high-impact action that compounds over weeks, months, and years. So here's the truth. From now until Christmas, every delay you've been holding on to is a choice, not a destiny. By taking immediate action, compressing your time, sprinkling in those small, potent interventions, shifting your mindset, breaking old routines, harnessing energy and momentum, celebrating psychological wins, and leveraging deadlines, you are no longer at the mercy of procrastination. You are the driver of your own life, and every second from this moment on is an opportunity to turn intention into results. Imagine what it will feel like to look back on these weeks and realize you accomplished more than you ever thought possible, simply because you decided to act decisively, strategically, and with unstoppable momentum. Momentum compounds, energy multiplies, and small actions become monumental achievements when you commit fully to the process. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being relentless, intentional, and unstoppable. The choice is yours. Will you let the days slip by, or will you sprinkle your own nutmeg for speed and transform every delay into action, every hesitation into progress, and every intention into results? From this moment, make the decision to act, and watch how quickly your life accelerates toward everything you want to achieve.